Hello, Kelly Turkington. We are here at Wheatstock. It's a beautiful day. How are you today?
Excellent. It's great to be here. It's wonderful to be up in the Peace. Beautiful country up here. I spent a couple years as a postdoc in the early 90s at Beaver Lodge, so it's always a pleasure to get back to the Peace.
Feels like home.
It does. You know, we moved up here and young family, so it was really enjoyed the countryside and the farmers and the colleagues that we had.
So we are here talking about barley and wheat disease management and fungicide timing. And maybe before we get into that, maybe give a little bit of introduction, who you are, where you work, and what you do.
Okay, my name's Kelly Turkington. I'm a plant pathologist with Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada in Lacombe, and we mostly work on cereal diseases, both barley and wheat. And it really runs the gamut from working with the breeders as far as screening for resistance, mostly to leaf diseases, through to looking at integrated crop management strategies.
So we're here today talking about disease management in wheat and barley as it relates to fungicide timing. So can you talk a little bit about what we're looking at today?
So definitely. So fungicides are an important tool that growers can use to manage leaf disease development in both wheat and barley, and also things like Fusarium head blight. It's important, though, to make sure you use those tools appropriately in order to get the most out of them in terms of your input costs and the response in terms of reducing disease and improving crop yields.
So what kind of treatments are we looking at?
So we're looking at a range of treatments. We're starting off with a very early application at about growth stage 12 to 14. So it'd be a typical herbicide timing, or on the early side probably. And then another treatment's looking at growth stage 32, which is I think when the third leaf from the head. So not the flag, not the penultimate, but the third leaf from the head is coming out. Then we're looking at a treatment that is at flag leaf emergence, growth stage 39, and then another treatment that's looking at about 3 to 4 days after head emergence, both in the wheat and barley.
So what did your research show in terms of application timing?
So certainly over the last, probably since 99, we've done a number of trials with timing, especially in barley, and unfortunately that early herbicide timing is maybe not the best point in terms of crop development to put that fungicide on. And the main thing is that the fungicides at that time, you're really only targeting the green, healthy leaf tissue that you can actually see. So if you have significant lesion development, the fungicides typically don't kill the fungus in that infected leaf. It might suppress the fungus for a little short period of time, but it'll become active. The other thing is you'll have spores being produced from any old crop residues in that field. So let's say you put a fungicide on at the 2-leaf stage. Once the third leaf starts to come out, it's totally unprotected. So you can start to see the disease cycling up. The other thing is that if you look at wheat and barley, it's really the upper canopy leaves that are critical for disease development. So if you look at some of the work in Australia, where they have a much longer growing season, they're looking probably at going in about growth stage 32. So when the third leaf down is coming out, targeting at that stage, and then coming back in at either flag leaf stage, or in our case here in Western Canada, we would be looking at head emergence.
So knowing that these are the treatments that we're putting in, what can farmers take from this information in terms of how they're making decisions on application timing?
I think the critical thing is to look at what's happening in the crop in terms of the disease spectrum that you're facing, when the disease starts to appear, how rapidly it's developing, and so on. And the nice thing about cereal leaf diseases is that a crop scout or a grower can follow development during the growing season and use that information that they pick up from the field to really tweak their fungicide program. So in terms of fungicides, I would say, when you're out scouting for weed spectrum, take note of what's happening. And if you start to see a significant amount of disease developing, you may want to look at an earlier application, perhaps even at that growth stage 32, and then continue to follow that crop and disease development as it's moving into flag leaf emergence. And if you're also concerned about Fusarium head blight and you want to top up your leaf disease management, go in after head emergence, put on that product, so you'll top up your leaf disease control and you'll get some suppression of Fusarium. But I would say follow the disease. In a situation where you might start off with a dry spring, You don't have a lot of leaf disease development, but you start to see some moisture towards the middle part of June, the latter part of June. What you might find is there's very little leaf disease development earlier on, and you can probably wait, look at what's happening at flag leaf stage, and maybe in some cases basically go in with a single application at head emergence. So you get some leaf disease control there, and you get some suppression of fusarium.
Awesome, Kelly. Well, thank you. We appreciate the information, and we look forward to more disease information coming from you, more research funded by Alberta Wheat and Barley.
Excellent. Nice to be here. Thank you.